on. I think I don't know if they canceled his publication or if they just
leaves it to the opinion of one person.
Or 9 people, or the Supreme Court ultimately is what it would come down to. But
that's
so and that's the thing is obscenity is extremely hard to define. So the best thing we have is, to me, I think what makes porn is any act, like the showing of any act that displays like the genitals, and it either would lead to or is the act of like penetration and sex. Like I think that's a pretty. You might be able to show a husband and wife like passionately making love and all that kind of stuff, but if you're showing the penetration and the act of it happening, it's still porn. Like
but what about movies where all you see is breasts and the guy laying down and she's doing the act, but like sheets are covering the waist.
That's where the whole term of B grade porn comes in. It doesn't have that whole you're showing genitals or anything. It's just like Doggy Style looks like they're moving furniture. It's just so terribly done. But like I think that's where like the whole. There's no genital exposure, but it's pretty obvious that they're having sex in this scene. It's a depiction of sex, so like
they pushed that boundary. There's a hold up, let me go ahead. There's a Shia LaBeouf movie I watched recently. I was like, good lord, this is borderline.
Really?
This is borderline porn.
He will forever be Stanley Yelnats.
Right. Great actor. It was American Honey.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you didn't see genitals, but damn, I mean, it got pretty close.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
A few scenes with them too. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the lines are stretched.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what people really try to do in, like, I mean, for like Hollywood style cinema where you're trying to show this in a lot of theaters or something like that. That's one of those tight ropes that they try to walk when it comes to risque scenes like that. Like I remember it was one of the Underworld movies. The guy directing it was the lead woman's like husband or something like that, and she had to film what was essentially a sex scene with this guy with a male lead, and he was fucking directing it. And it's like, wow, that's got to get weird, man.
That has to be weird.
That has to get weird. Oh, yeah, the actors were both like, yeah, it was weird. And he was like, yeah, it was a little hard to watch, but in the same token, we made a great movie, so. Sociopath.
Yeah, how many people were extremely uncomfortable, and can you get away with that today?
I don't know. It depends on... It depends on what the political message of your movie is.
This long-ass consent form. Gonna need your consent.
Dude, Dave Chappelle.
Roll it out.
Dave Chappelle hit that on the head when it was one of the sketches in Chappelle's show. It was like the release form, and he brings a girl. Before we continue in this sexual exploration, I just have to protect my interests. Sign here that it's okay for us to engage in this act, and go ahead and initial here for oral, and here for anal. She's like, no. Yeah.
Damn it.
So
can you imagine if that ends up being our interactions with people? Is that you have to have some form of consent in that way? I watched. There's this show. It's called. Damn it.
It's an interesting name.
I'm gonna forget the name of it. But basically in this show, they get together and you have to like consent with this device that's like, yeah, it's very strange. And if both partners consent and hit this device, like they can actually have sex. It's
so weird. Like, and see, that's where this whole, like, I understand where the whole conversation about consent arose. I do understand that, and I have...
Upload.
Okay.
Is the name of it.
I understand where it came from, and I get it. I totally get it.
This is like a VR and AR, so it's kind of like a mix.
In the same token, the manner in which the conversation is being had is it almost seems like one side of the conversation is like, no, you have to ask for consent every step along the way. Like, you have to actually, do I have your consent, or do you consent to this? And all I can think is, I'm 28. I've had my experiences in life. There is no more mood killer than stopping everything you're doing to, like, just stopping what you're doing immediately, just abruptly. There's no, and that would be just every few steps along the way. Do I have your consent? That would be a mood killer.
Yeah.
That would be a straight, and that's why I completely understand the other side. Consent is fairly obvious.
Well, and like saying I give consent is vague, like the Chappelle thing, which is like, do you consent to this and this and this and this?
Yeah,
like you said, every step along the way. Oh, hey, I'm gonna flip you over. You consent to that, or is that demeaning? Oh God.
Seriously, like, I mean, like, what that would be a very strangely, that's borderlining like Victorian level, like, repression, like sexual repression, where you're like, oh, it's.
What's strange is whenever things happen to guys and you're just kind of like, oh, yeah, I guess so. And then they discuss it later, and like a psychologist or a doctor will sit there and tell you, like, yeah, you were either molested or
raped or like what have you, like whatever it was. Rape is fairly, I think that's a fairly definitive subject.
But you were sexually exploited.
Yeah. You know? Okay, that's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it.
And to hear that side of it is like, oh shit. Well, when it comes to sexual exploitation, I feel like our bar is a little higher, and you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying. Like, I do. I get what you're saying, and I think it's also Like, I think that's one of those things that's kind of subjective for every person. Yeah, because like, I mean, consent here for anal kind of thing. There are some women and men that absolutely love that. There are some that are like, nope,
absolutely not,
not happening. Yeah. And it's like, to each their own. So yeah, I do get what you're saying. I also understand that like that's one of those. What really comes down to is like what you might call negative consent. Like, no. And I think we all know what a no is when we hear it. Like there's the stop it, no, you're being so bad. Like, there's that, and then there's stop, no, I'm not into this.
And that's where cancel culture comes in, where it's like, were you playfully telling him no? Because
when you read that shit out on a transcript, when you just literally read the words with a blank tone.
Oh, she said no.
No, stop, you're being bad, stop, no.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty bad when you read it like that.
And then they're like, well, I did say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
and then that goes to what we were just talking about, which is maybe like consent along the way, which is
but see, to me, and I guess ultimately you're relying on an honor system of sorts here. Like, I know what no, I'm not into that. I know what that is. Like, we all know, I'd like to think, except it's like sociopaths, but like, I think 99% of people know what that is, and it's like, oh shit, okay, I'm not, sorry.
But if you didn't mean
to cross the line,
and you do something, and you never said no, but then you feel shame afterwards, that shouldn't be grounds to be like.
I don't think that's grounds for anything, for any legal proceedings. I don't really think that's grounds for that. But if you're like, if you're like with that person, like you're in a relationship with them, that's totally grounds to be like, hey, so we did something the other day and I did not like it.
Yeah,
I may not have said something in the time, but I did not like that. And that, to me, that's perfectly game. Like, that's how a relationship is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly how that's supposed to go. Is like, you explore each other, you find lines, you find fun spots. That's the whole fun of the game. But at the same time, when somebody goes, no, not into that, okay, well, won't cross that line again. Sorry about that.
We veered off into consent.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that's another part of porn, though. You got to think.
Yeah, because there's consent forms.
There's consent forms, and there's also like a lot of for a while, I remember hearing about this because for some reason there was an uproar. But porn that portrays rape was made illegal in the United States. It was porn that portrays. It's not even obviously to rape somebody and film it that's a rape. That's illegal. Like that's a crime. But even like the yeah, go ahead. The depiction of it, even when all actors are consenting, was made illegal. And for some reason there was an uproar. And I was like, that seems rational. Yeah. Seems like you ought not glorify that behavior in any way.
Can you imagine a child getting a hold of that at an early age, and then that's just what they go off and do because they think, oh, this is normalized.
Yeah, like that to me, I'm like, okay, I totally get if aggressive porn is your thing, like that's what you're into. There's BDSM shit out there. There's weird, like I said, there's videos of dudes jacking off and then a chick punching them in the balls right when they ejaculate. I'm serious. There's weird stuff. 4chan is a crazy place.
See, and the problem with kids getting a hold of it is they don't understand the process of this stuff, so they don't understand. There's consent forms signed.
They have no context for any of this.
Yeah, which is
and at this point, it's so widely available because you give a kid a tablet without any protections on it. Like you're like, oh, here's your happy 10th birthday, Jimmy. Here's your new tablet device, and he's just like scrolling around, and then he turns 12, starts to look at girls differently. Oh, naked woman.
Timmy said Pornhub was a cool website. Look into it. Another thing along the lines of the whole what you were just talking about with the rape pornography, that was, I guess there was an uptick on that. Sleeping. Where the female is or the guy is asleep,
yeah,
and then they come in and do that. That's borderline.
It is.
That almost seems like a problem because think if a kid sees that and then they grow up and they think, oh, Susie's over here sleeping.
Now,
this should be okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's not okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Any experienced adult. And any person who's inexperienced who tries to actually do that while somebody is just asleep, barring them being drugged or they take a sleeping medication like what's the Ambien, yeah, like that or something like that. Barring anything like that, if they're just normally sleeping, you are not, like, I just can't see that going down like that. I can't see somebody saying asleep just from a rational perspective.
But in those films, there's no context behind it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a problem.
That's true.
I think that's a problem.
Especially with what came out about Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
portraying that. Now, if you were in a relationship and you've been with this person for a while,
and that's like kind of what you're into, like,
you might want to say something.
While
they're awake, hey, is this okay? Because I don't want to
can I roofie you?
Yeah.
Like,
not even. Can I mess around with you while you're mid sleep? I just want you to know I'm gonna do that possibly because I'm kind of into that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you waking up freaking out. It's me.
Yeah, it's me. Don't worry.
Because, that's crossed my mind. It's like, oh, well, I've been with this girl for a while. This shouldn't be a problem. But then you think about it and you're like, well, what if she freaks the fuck out?
Things like,
and it gets weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that genre in general, I think, is borderline what you were talking about. That's a problem. That should not be a thing either.
That's one that it's like, yeah, when you said the context of the video itself, what, you don't really have anything. You just, I came across a sleeping person. Yeah, all right, I can see what you're talking about there with it being a problem. That's, like I said, weird genres out there, dude. And it's weird how people try to walk that line of, what's, porn itself has become less and less taboo as the years have gone on and the internet has made it more widely available. So insofar as it in itself has become less taboo, they're trying to make more taboo things that sort of push that boundary. I mean, homeboy tried making 2 girls 1 cup, and he just fucking said he threw a frog in boiling water on that one. We were all like, nope, not into that. Except for the people who are into that, which I like to think is few and far between. But there's almost 8 billion of us on this planet now, so.
Oh God, all the ones that are into it are in America. It's got to be a good amount.
Well, given that America is like the biggest traffic country,
that's why.
Yeah. Well, hey man, is when I think of Rome collapsing in on itself, I think back to part of it being from, like, if you watch Spartacus, they have those parties. In the, like, where they have the gladiators. Area. Yeah, where they have the gladiators like fuck the slaves for the entertainment of their guests. They're like, oh yes, have this gladiator fuck that one, and I would like to see that. That that shit is just that sort of taboo is just strange. Like, I think porn has been around longer than video cameras have.
Yeah.
This, like, just the showing and display of it. Yeah.
People do it in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Strange paraphilias, man.
Which nowadays is disconnected. Like, there's not a lot of, like, in person watching people fuck.
No, I remember
it's all digital.
What was it called? Like a peep show or something where you like, it's like a jack off booth where you stick a quarter or something in and the thing goes up for like 10 seconds. Yeah, like,
oh man.
Yeah, there's some weird, like I said, there's some, it was back in the days where you had to wear a fucking hat and some sunglasses and put your coat up. I don't need people to know I'm jerking off in a place that isn't my house.
Can't have the wife finding out.
Oh, God. That's what else it breeds is like God forbid. So, okay, let's say you're like just a normal individual and you're like, all right, I'm just going to do this. And then you stumble across something that it's like, it didn't even occur to you. It's like, I didn't know that was a thing. I could never try this with my wife. Maybe there's someone else out there I could try this with. Like an increase in like prostitution or something like that. I don't know. I haven't read any correlational stuff on that, so I can't say one thing or another. But the whole idea of introducing something you didn't think was a thing, like for me, pegging was a strange thing to come upon.
It's so strange that you can get paid to be on screen and have sex, but you can't pay someone to have sex with you in this country.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
It's so ass backwards. Like,
so that's if you ever pay for a hooker, just be sure to have a video camera on hand. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, I'm making a porn. Yeah,
shooting a porno. Got an OnlyFans to keep up here.
I had to pay her. It's part of our contract.
Here's the contract, and it's you literally handwriting.
If you get caught by police and they're videotaping you, is that a porn? Can you argue
the body cam footage? You come in and you're banging a hooker
like they do sting operations where they have a room and they get somebody to entice somebody into that room, and the whole time they're filming and catching evidence. It's like, can I use that in court as a porno? I paid her. I'm on film.
If you could manage to actually, what if you were such a smooth talker, you smooth talk the cop that's trying to lure you into actually sleeping with you, and then it's you get it all on camera. It's nah, I legitimately said no. What if you pulled the sting operation of no, I don't want to have sex with you. I want to film both of us having sex, and they couldn't get you on it.
Oh,
they're I can't get this guy. He's smart. He's really playing some legal loopholes here. Break his camera. No, he could sue us, idiot.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
This was another interesting point that I had. I found both on here as well as some other articles. Hi, Smokey Dog. The dog is in here with us. It's consumption of porn increases in areas with a higher density of bachelor's degrees. Yeah, it's just the higher the bachelor degree count, the porn increases. Just a correlation. I thought this was an interesting point because as time goes on, the people that will have these degrees are going to be Gen Z kids, and Gen Z grew up on social media. We got social media when we were like teenagers. We were already in high school and all that.
MySpace.
Yeah. Zanga. Good Lord. Remember Tom?
Yeah.
Fucking deleted.
He's on everybody's. Yeah.
Hi, I'm your friend.
I'm a friend with everybody on here. Yeah.
No.
No, you're not.
But like these are all the kids who grew up on social media, and because like they've been studying social media more and more, and it breeds a certain element of asociality. Like it breeds this, you interact with people. This becomes your connection. You connect with people through likes and comments and shares and all that kind of stuff, rather than actually speaking with somebody. So there breeds a certain asociality about it, and because of that, they're more accustomed to this instant gratification way of going about things, and they're also less likely to take risks. With higher instant gratification, you're less when you're more prone to instant gratification, you're less likely to take risks. And so going up to somebody of the opposite sex who may very well reject you and, turn you down when you ask for a date, when you ask her on a date or ask him on a date, whatever the case may be, that's a risk. And it's one that most people who with this level of instant gratification, they're less likely to take risks. They're less likely to ask people out and pursue like actual real-time sexual relationships or something like that. And so I think the people that are getting these degrees, like porn, I think over the next 5 to 10 years, we'll probably see a drastic increase in porn consumption, especially among the Gen Z. Like, I think that'll be part of it. And then we as millennials who are raising the back end of Gen Z.
Interesting to look at.
Yeah.
Look at the stats in like 10 years.
Oh yeah. See what kind of fucking porn stats there are then.
We're gonna have to come back to this topic.
Oh yeah. For real, dude. Can you imagine that 5 years from now? We're doing porn again.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
So it'll go one of two ways. Porn will be the same. There will be just a hell of a lot more of it, or there will be so little porn because all it is it's like that Family Guy episode. No kissing, no movement whatsoever, really. No penetration. No, like nothing. It's just a guy on top of a girl under the covers.
Yeah. Everything's worth canceling.
All right, I'm done.
That's if this cancel culture goes unchecked.
Oh god, yeah. This can't go because what happens when porn stars start being canceled?
Oh man,
that's gonna be weird.
I'll be curious in the next 5 to 10 years if sleep is even a category anymore, or if somebody like argues that.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. The whole Cosby thing.
Yeah, kind of bringing that whole. Yeah, that happens more than you might think.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody about it, and I forgot who I was talking to, but they're like, you think he did that? Like they had that kind of like with Michael Jackson. Like, yeah, you think he did it? Like I don't think Michael Jackson did it, but when it comes to Bill Cosby, I'm like, I look at Bill Cosby. This is not from looking at evidence. This is not from anything official. I look at Bill Cosby, and I think about that. And then I think about how self-righteous he's been over the years. And I'm like, I don't think he did that to, like, what was the last number? Like 62 or 57 or something like that. There was a large number of women that came out.
I think he's only serving for one.
Now, regardless, really? Just one?
Yeah.
I figured it was more than that.
No.
Maybe there wasn't evidence to prove it, but I don't think it was all of them, but I don't think it was none of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think he did that shit. But that's neither here nor there. That's a different topic entirely.
I don't know if you saw the documentary on Michael Jackson, but it was pretty rough.
Really?
Yeah.
They smear him?
Well, yeah, it's two people coming out that were around him at the time. Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty...
I'll have to watch it. Michael Jackson, I grew up with my mom loved Michael Jackson.
Oh,
She
yeah,
loves Michael Jackson.
You hear the music, and it's like, if it was true, you can't deny that he had good music.
That's the thing is I separate like there are some like music artists that I just as people it's like I just loathe the actors too. It's like I just loathe you as just the things that you put out there as a real person. But then I watch you in movies and I'm like, yeah. Or I hear your music, I'm like, yeah, this is good. I like this. You know what I mean? So, like, R. Kelly is the finest example. R. Kelly done fucked up.
Yeah,
he done fucked up.
Bad.
But,
that one too,
yeah, that's bad.
That's
but I Believe I Can Fly will jam forever.
Yeah, right.
So, like, not sorry about that. I Believe I Can Fly
is still stuck in my head every now and then. It's like something will come up.
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
No,
just
get out of there.
Gotta sing that song.
Some of this stuff's ingrained in our fucking memory, man. It's like,
well, dude, we're Space Jam generation. That song was like part and parcel of Space Jam. So I mean, like, it's a great song too.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, you can't deny that. Yeah. Cannot deny that shit. Oof, rough stuff. That is yikes. So. I guess the last topic. Well, second to the last topic. I got a fun little last topic, to bring up. But second to the last topic, is something that I thought this was so interesting. So there's a protein called delta phos B. And it might be delta phos beta. I have to look more into that particular protein, but this was an article on I think it was APA. I think it was an APA article. That's like APA.org or whatever it is. There's a protein called delta phos B that is stimulated during the flow state. So the flow state is when your skill is maximized. You are using the maximum amount of your current skill in an activity, and that means that you are actually challenging your ability to grow. Since you are at the threshold of your potential, you are actually, you can push the threshold out. And so the flow state is an ideal state to learn in. And they've done fMRI studies that show that in the flow state, you're more prone to build neural connections. You have an enhanced ability to build neural connections in this, hence the quicker learning. And this is an intrinsically desirable state to be in. So being in a flow state is addictive in itself. You and I both used to glove, and that was for a while. It was like you couldn't.
Or just dance.
Couldn't stop. Dancing. Video games are another fine example. Like a video game that is easy in its mechanics, but very technical in its actual gameplay. So Call of Duty, Duck Game, Sports can definitely bring that out. I skated for 8-9 years as a kid, so most definitely free running too. But so this is an inherently desirable state. So when you're in that state, this protein is essentially a signal for the brain saying, this feels good, this is a good thing, we should come back to this. So porn, as it turns out, stimulates a flow state, or as they deemed it in this particular article, the porn trance. You're actually in a flow state because one of the elements of the flow state is it's like there's not you, the world, the stuff you're doing, the things you're working with and all that. There is just the thing you're doing. Everything, the whole world kind of goes away, and there's just the thing you're doing. You're fully aware of what needs to be done next. After that, you just kind of, you flow, hence the name flow state. Fun fact, the guy who discovered, or who first propounded the term flow state, his name is Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi. Yes. I believe he's Slovak. I believe. The psych thing, we learned about it in cognitive science. It's awesome. But porn stimulates a flow state. But you're not fucking doing anything. You're just sitting there. So my thing is, since you're more prone to to create neural connections, what kind of connections are being made when you're just sitting there watching porn? I think it's personally, I think it's completely altering your perception of sexuality. Like that's what I think it's doing.
It brings you into a flow state, and then you're seeing, like, especially when you're younger, it tends to.
You're already prone to make connections and stuff.
Yeah, and so you're entering that flow state, and it's a time. You said it's a good time to learn.
Yeah,
and then you have this visually stimulating thing that you're watching, and I can see that's why it's a concern for youth in certain certain areas, like.
Well, I mean, you got to think of the emotional response during sex too, and children, not children, but like teenagers mainly are very emotionally responsive. They have that overdeveloped amygdala and underdeveloped frontal cortex.
Unrealistic expectations. You learn that.
Yeah, it kind of
because you're watching it and you're in a flow state. Yeah, which makes your relationships at first awkward.
Yeah, because it's like, what I brought over a pizza.
Like Superman.
I brought over a pizza with my dick in it. And, like, she got mad.
She didn't go for it at all.
Yeah, I think it completely.
Should we be PC about this name? Because
that's the name of it. That's the product
I know,
name.
but you could do this and flesh. You see what I mean? Like fleshlight instead of.
We already say fuck on here.
That's
like we've been talking about
That's
porn.
true.
Like
But
we're gonna have to start censoring sooner or later.
Yeah.
But for now, let's kind of run with it while we can. You know what I mean?
Until one day we're like, oh, that was taken down.
Yeah. They didn't like that? Huh.
Weird.
So this is us pushing the lines here. This is how, in my opinion, depraved, because you saw the pictures of it. And
terrifying.
If anything, I'll find I found censored pictures of it, so I can put a censored picture up with it.
Describe it.
I'll
describe it how I saw it, which is terrifying.
Okay, so the product, this is how depraved we've come as a culture. Everybody knows of a fleshlight. We all know what those are. This is called a foot pussy. Let me let the dog out. Cliffhanger. Go on. Oh, sorry. Foot pussy. That's a wonderful thing. So,
which I'm sure came from the foot fetish.
Oh, most definitely. To me, that's a weird one. But nowadays, I think a foot fetish is like tip of the iceberg kind of thing. Like, oh, you're into feet? Well, at least you don't feel like getting hit in the nuts with a wooden paddle.
Yeah,
like,
good Lord.
But so there's
I'm gonna go ahead and describe this.
Yeah, just take it away.
So the way that I see it is that of a severed limb, just a little bit higher from the ankle, and where you enter is where that severed limb starts. So it's like fucking a dead body part. And when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's just so wrong. It's just so wrong.
Well, because if you get a thumbnail of it, if you get a thumbnail of it and it's like colored in super red and pink,
that'd be
it looks like viscera. It looks like it was clean hacked. Like, and like I said, a thumbnail, you get a full picture of one, and it's like, oh, okay, that's very clearly a vagina on top of a severed human foot. There were some that offer it on the sole of the foot.
That is better.
Oh, I thought that was worse.
Oh,
I just thought that was worse.
The reason why I think the other one's worse is because it legit looks like a severed limb. Like somebody just chopped off a leg, or chopped off the foot of somebody, and just turned it into just this very
depraved fuck toy.
Yeah.
So I think that sort of thing was thought up by somebody who's like, I want to fuck a foot, and they like thought it through, and it'd be hacking it off and then like doing that. I think that the one, for me, the reason, and so there's a certain element of sociopathic rationality there. However, I think the one with the genitalia, the one with the pussy on the bottom of the foot, like We're talking about a foot pussy here, dude. Like, let's not try to sugarcoat this shit. To me, the one with it on the sole of the foot is far more unnatural. Yeah, all right. You can't do this, dog. To me, the one with it on the sole of the foot is worse because it's almost like you genetically modified a being for the sole purpose of cutting off their foot.
Did you say natural? Because what we're speaking of...
Oh, did I say? It's completely unnatural. But it's like talking about comic books and the laws there in the comic books, you know what I mean? So, it seems more unnatural, and like I said, hear me out. Because, so, what would a mindless sociopath do who's trying to fuck a foot? They'll kill somebody, hack their foot off, and go in the first clean entrance.
That's why it's terrifying.
That it is terrifying, but do you see how I'm easily able to get there? Whereas the vagina on the bottom of the foot.
I mean, that's
how'd you get there?
Statement.
How did you?
Right, like I'm gonna stomp your balls.
Maybe it's from the whole thing of like somebody putting their feet together, and it's like I just want what does a one-footed pussy feel like? I wonder like. Just, people are weird, man. They're going to say we're weird for talking about this shit, but somebody else invented the foot pussy.
The second I saw that, it was just like, oh, good Lord.
It's psychotic.
Oh, God. Why? I know why, but why? Why did you do that?
Yeah, it's if I can, like I said, if I can find a censored picture of it, I'll throw it up on the credits or something like that. Like, stay tuned for the surprise. Like, oh, it was... Yeah, that's a freaky one. So yeah, that's just sort of a marker of how, in closing on this conversation about porn, just sort of a marker of how depraved we've gotten. And I can't say it was porn necessarily that got us here. However,
delete
there
history.
There is a Yeah, how do you think I felt when I Google searched that and then I found like rubber severed human limb? Oh God, the FBI, and I'm on a watch list. There we go. That's good.
All right, that's gone.
Oh,
I'm legit clearing my history.
I was like, he's actually doing it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just sort of a marker. It's a litmus test. How weird are sex toys getting? And we might get into AI sex dolls at some point. But for now, we're going to stop at foot pussy. That'll do it here at the Midnight Sun, folks. You now know about foot pussy, and you can't unknow that.
I will never unsee it.
You won't. That's a thing that's just scarred into your memory now. So,
thanks for that.
No, no problem, dude.
Yeah.
That's why people. We're friends. Yep. Yeah. Just weird shit has to be shared among friends.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
We'll catch you later, folks. Have a good one. Tune in, like, share, subscribe, do it all. Hit the notification bell if that's an option. Just go for it. Just pound it. Pound it like a foot pussy.